Welcome back. Now, the Minister of Education, Tahir Mamman, has disclosed that the federal government plans to review and peg the minimum entry age into tertiary institutions in the country at 18 years. The minister, who gave the hint while monitoring the ongoing Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination in Abuja, advised parents against pushing their children and wards too much to allow them to attain some level of maturity to be able to better manage their affairs when they get into tertiary institutions. Commenting on the high number of candidates seeking admission into the limited slots available in tertiary institutions, Mamman maintained that skills acquisition remains a critical component in preparing youths now for a brighter future. He also said the Education Ministry is taking skills to pupils from primary school. The minister further hinted that beneficiaries of the federal government student loan will cut across both higher education and skill acquisition, saying it was important that students who are unable to proceed to tertiary education still have a meaningful life even after secondary school, in fact, even after primary education. To speak on this further, I'm now being joined on the program by the proprietress and academic director at the Unique Prela Schools in Lagos, Blessing Owenaze. Madam, thank you very much for joining us on the program. You look at this proposal that the government it's putting forward. Somehow, some people will say it makes some sense. What's your take on it?
I'm supporting it. It's really making sense. Because when the children, underage children, are sent to the universities, some of them are not really ready to leave the houses. They are not ready to face the world in the tertiary institution. Most of them are not ready. They are underage. They are still babies, 14, 15, 16 years. And some of them at GSS2, the parents are already asking them to write the WAEC or NECO and start preparing for JAM. You can even see, for example, when they are going to write this exam, parents have to go with them. They don't leave them. They still follow them. But in the university, you will not follow a child to the university, and no teacher will sit in the classroom with you like we do in a regular secondary school or primary school. They are now left to face the world on their own, meeting a lot of difficulties, challenges. Most of them cannot even take care of themselves.
But the question is, why do parents actually push their children? Because I keep wondering, it's not as if there's a job out there waiting for, these children. It's not as if we have surplus of jobs waiting or something. But why do parents actually push their underage children to ensure they get into the university at a very young age?
I think it's an ego thing. Want to behave like they see somebody doing something, they don't know the reason why that is happening, they just start it. At a particular time, we found out that even the primary 6, parents stopped allowing their children to get to primary 6. Once they're in primary 5, they said they want to pay for common entrance for them, and they want them to go to secondary school. And when they're in SS2, you want to stop them schooling also. They don't want them to do the SS3, they want them to go to the universities. And with the influx of all these mushroom universities, private universities, they pick these children, allow these children to go into schools. And when they get there, it's a different ball game entirely. Most of them, even when they graduate, they still cannot defend the certificates they are carrying. So, but if a child is matured, 18, 19, the child will know, this is what I want. Even when you ask some of the children in SS1, SS2, what do you want? They don't know. They don't know. And the reading culture also is gone. So the fault is majorly on the parents, making it mandatory for us, the school, to make their children go, or they change the school.
Now, let me ask you this. Why is it important to allow children to mature, especially get to the age of 18 before they get into a university, for instance?
A university is not for children. It's for adults. You need to be matured. You meet people of my age in the university. You meet people of 30, 40, 25, and you are sending a child of 15 there. It's like throwing a child to the wolf. Go there and survive, and they might not be able to survive. Even in our homes, the elderly ones, they oppress the younger ones. So if you now take them to where their families are not, they don't have friends, they don't know anybody there. So you can imagine what will happen to such a child. Some of them cannot even cook, they can't wash. And you are sending them to the university because your friend's child. But there is one thing, immediately they leave the shores of Nigeria, they follow what those countries are doing. But once they are in Nigeria here, they just do anyhow they want to do it. So I'm really happy with, if the government will stand by their words, I will be really happy. Because underage children and what we see happening, I will be happy if they will allow only adults to go to school. In our own time, at 18, we finished secondary school. 19, we have 20 years, and we know what we want to achieve in life. We know what the world is talking about. Not children that don't even listen to news, they don't read paper, they don't know what is happening on the next streets. They are not streetwise. So you just send them into the midst of the wolves, and that is a problem for us.
Now, don't you also think that, schools are also partly to blame for this? Because we've seen schools in this country, I'm talking about secondary schools where they push these students as well, that they know are clearly underage, but they push them to go and write some of these exams just to get into the university. And you're quite right. It's like becoming a tradition now that some students don't even, they don't stay until they get to SS3. Some write WAEC and NECO from SS2, and they just want to leave. And sometimes some of these schools are actually responsible. They are pushing, and not just the parents alone.
I will speak for myself. I don't allow underage children to write exams in my school. But when a parent comes, we are into business. They want to rush their child. Some schools we accept. Like I don't accept any child that is not up to 6 years in my primary one. So if you are 6 years in primary one, definitely when you are leaving the school, it should be by 11 or 12. That is when you are going to secondary school, and you spend 6 years in secondary school. But it's not the school. It is the parents. It's what they want. They come to us. This is what I want. If the school will stand their ground, the parents will have no option than to accept. But once they leave a school, they go to another school, and the school takes them, then the trend will continue. But if they could stop when a child is coming from one school, there is no result, or you are not contacting the school to ask, please, I want to know the class this child stopped so that we'll know what to do, then we'll be able to sort the problem to an extent.
There's something I also want to ask you, and I'll want to get your thoughts on. It appears we're dealing with a situation where parents are just in a hurry to, quote and unquote, get rid of their children. So you have a situation where a mother, for instance, would send a less than 6-month-old baby to a crash. And then less than 5-year-old a baby now to start proper schooling, and it gets to the level of university. The parents are quick enough to want to just send these children out, just get rid of them, let them just go. Could we blame this entirely on work? Because most times it's always the complaint that, look, these parents are busy, they have to go and fend for these children, they have to go and they just have to work, and so they haven't got time for parenting at all. I'm just wondering, could these also be part of the problem?
It's one of the problems. Parents going to work, mothers not being at home. Then, like, when I ask some of my parents, they say when they are seeking for graduates in some workplaces, they will tell you they need between an age limit with job experience, and a child that graduates at 24 or 25 without experience will not get some kind of jobs in this country. So that is why they are trying to make sure their children graduate at 19, 20 and work and have experience so that they could fit into the system. The system also is to blame when you are pegging age limit to some job within the country. Like you say, you want to employ people in the bank, you say we want graduates of 22 to 25 with experience. Those are fresh graduates. If a child goes into the university at 18, that child is expected to graduate at 22 or 23. The service, 24. So when you are not asking a child, you want to employ somebody of 25 years with experience, where would that person, where do you expect that person to have gotten the experience you are requesting for? Those are some of the problems. So the parents, they have theirs. The government, they have theirs also. And you still have the organizations trying to employ these youth having those issues also.
So obviously the government would definitely need to address that as well, because you're quite right. Most times organizations put out job adverts. They're asking for potential employees that are not more than 22, 23 and all of that. And of course, you talked about experience, which is also true. So obviously the government would need to address that as well if it intends, I mean, if it's to go the route of this 18 years now as the entry age to tertiary institutions.
Yes.
I can understand you. Yes. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you. I've been speaking with Blessing Owenaze now, who is the academic director at Unique Prela Schools in Lagos. Thank you so much for your time and thanks for your contributions. Well, that's how much we can take on the program this week, but thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.